Welcome to the new year. Congratulations on making it here. A lot of great games came out this last 2021, so let's go ahead and babble on about that. 2021 was a rough year, folks, let's face it, okay? From COVID-19 absolutely crippling the United States and actually just the entire world to the United States being absolutely devastated by capitalism, racism, and just people not getting along and liking each other anymore. We're falling apart, but at least we had video games to help keep us through and keep us steady throughout the entire year to kind of help us just deal with the overall depression of life, right? Right. So I wanted to take the time to kind of sit back, dwell on the past, and kind of just dive into some of my favorite moments in video games from 2021. Let's go. So first off on the list, my absolute favorite game of 2021, Metroid Dread. I've talked about this game a lot on the channel, and it was actually my personal favorite game of the year. I've recently gone back to play through it a couple more times, and I still feel this way. The game is phenomenal, and if you haven't played it, you really need to hop on and get in and play the dang game. I absolutely love Metroid Dread. I did a review of it on the channel. I've played it multiple times. I've talked to other people about it. It was actually the New York Times best-selling game, or New York Times favorite game of 2021 as well. Something that I never thought I'd have in common with the New York Times, but hey, here we are. Whatever, fine, awesome, keep on going, baby. Keep selling, keep playing it, keep buying it, do all these different things. I love to see Metroid coming back in a big way, and it really did come back in a big way. 2021 was a phenomenal year for Metroid, and I'm really hoping to continue the thread. And I'm really hoping to continue the thread moving forward, getting some more stuff about Metroid Prime 4 possibly, and even Metroid 6 one day. You know, Mercury Steam, you did a fantastic job twice. You guys did great with Metroid Samus Returns, and then you followed up a couple years later with Metroid Dread. Honestly, probably my new favorite Metroid game. 2021 was definitely the year of IPs making a huge comeback, and one game in particular that came back that I was really hyped about was new Pokemon Snap. If you aren't familiar with the Pokemon Snap franchise, you play as a young boy who gets assigned the task to going around different environments to capture photos of different species of Pokemon for a professor. In this game, you're doing that for Professor Mirror. The original game came out on the Nintendo 64 in 1999, and players have been hoping for a new one ever since. And I'm glad to say that this sequel really shines and left me craving more. And Nintendo's been doing this really fantastic thing with a lot of their games in 2021. Well, they were doing, because now it's 2022. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already 2022. But Nintendo did some really cool things in 2021 by giving us free updates on some of their titles. We'll talk more about another one later on this list. Spoilers. But with new Pokemon Snap, they added a bunch of new courses. And what's cool about Pokemon Snap is when you play through the courses more and more and more, new things start to kind of happen throughout the course. So if you play it at nighttime, you're gonna see different types of Pokemon coming out. Maybe they're, you know, sleeping. Maybe they're awake, doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's really, really cool how they actually did that, and it didn't make it where every time you played it, it was the same entire thing over and over and over. It was really fun, had a lot of really great playability, and then with them just putting out new free DLC all the time through updates, it kept me coming back for more. I loved it. Okay, I promise you that this list isn't just completely Nintendo, but if you've been a fan of Babylon for quite a while, you'll know that I, Andrew, love Nintendo and would consider myself a Nintendo fanboy. I don't care, I love them. They make really great things. Not to say that Xbox and PlayStation aren't fantastic and great. I love video games in general. I just really prefer Nintendo. And this next Nintendo game is no shocker that it would make it on my list because I've also talked about it on the channel before. And boy, I'm talking about Mario Golf Super Rush. So Mario Golf Super Rush was one of those games that my wife and I played more together than any other game ever in our relationship. And also, just like with new Pokemon Snap, they continued to give us new updates throughout the year, and with new courses, new characters, all these different things really kept us both coming back. She really absolutely loves playing as one of the newer characters, Wiggler, and we both really love the new Donk City level. And it's cool too because just like with Pokemon Snap, each course has different versions of the course that you can play. So you have so much replayability with your friends. And one of my favorite things about Mario Golf on the Nintendo Switch is the fact that if you only have 1 or 2 Joy-Cons, you can still have 4 people play because the game supports the ability to play 4 players with just the 1 Joy-Con. that's really cool because not a lot of people have the funds to necessarily go out and buy Joy-Cons because for some reason Nintendo likes to just charge an arm and a leg for those bad boys. Like, I only have 4 because I just can't see myself spending so much money to buy more Joy-Cons. And games like, you know, Super Mario Rush or Mario Golf Rush, super fan over here, you know, it really shines because I can play it with my friends and family with just the one Joy-Con. So, really fun game. And if you haven't played this one, you really need to get out there. I cannot talk. If you haven't played this one, you need to get yourself out there. Get your hands on the dang game and play it. Who doesn't love golf? See, look. I told you this wasn't just gonna be strictly Nintendo list, okay? 2021 had a lot of really great games, and this one came out at the very end of the year with a lot of criticism. I'm talking about Halo Infinite, baby. So Halo Infinite is easily one of my favorite games of 2021. With its fast-paced, arcade-style online to its immensely immersive single-player campaign, this is one of the most fun and most gorgeous games I've played this year. And truthfully, I'm playing through the game on an Xbox One X with a 4K TV, and it runs smooth and plays flawlessly. Still have not yet to have a reason to buy a Series X. I think it's interesting that this console, the Series X, has been out for an entire year already, and I still don't have a reason to buy it because this game runs so great on my Xbox One X. And I did say that the campaign was immensely immersive and yada yada yada. To me it is, but I know a lot of people didn't really like it. And I get it, I understand there's not that much really going on, so I'm kind of contradicting myself. I understand. But to me, it was very immersive in the fact that I could take my grappling hook and just get myself kind of just anywhere I wanted on the entire, you know, it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild in the sense that you could just do whatever you want. It's, you know, endless, kind of traversal. You can you can do anything you want. You can hop onto an enemy Banshee, take it, fly around, hop out of there, grapple onto another Banshee. It's amazing. It's fun. It's just in an open world-esque, tiny linear style game. It's great. It's one of my favorite games of 2021. I loved it. Okay, so to be honest, this next item on the list, what is this, a game show? To be honest, the next thing on the list, I wasn't sure if I was going to add it or not because it's the Nintendo Switch OLED, and it's not exactly a game, but it was one of my favorite things that come out in 2021. So I already knew I was going to get this from the moment I saw the launch trailer, but I didn't realize I was going to be so obsessed with it. From its super comfortable design to its breathtakingly gorgeous OLED screen, I find myself finding any excuse to play games on my Switch again. It's amazing to me that even games that were launch titles like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Breath of the Wild, and even Mario Odyssey look absolutely insane on the OLED screen. If you still don't have one, I highly suggest you go out and get one ASAP. It's 100% worth the upgrade. So I've got big man hands, big meaty claws, and this thing fits so comfortably in my hands. I've always been in love with my Nintendo Switch, but this just made me love the Switch even more. It's just from the comfortability of sitting on my couch and playing it to the absolute gorgeous OLED screen. It still bothers me that this is just now coming out and it wasn't at launch because, well, the Vita had one? So it's kind of weird, but hey, I get it. Nintendo's all about putting out variations of their already very successful consoles. I mean, look at, you know, the DS, the DS Lite, the DSi, the 3DS, the 3DS XL, the new 3DS. I mean, they do it all the time, so I kind of figured this was coming. A lot of people wanted the 4K Switch. Come on, guys, it's Nintendo. We're not gonna get that anytime soon. I mean, maybe a couple years from now when everyone already is at 8K, so I don't know, but I loved it. I absolutely thought it was the best thing for me personally in 2021. I upgraded from my original Switch to this one and just, I love it. Even going back and playing games like Final Fantasy IX looks, oh my gosh, so good. Can't believe it. It looks like a brand new game that just came out in 2021. That's how good the OLED screen is. Ah, yes. How could I make a top 10 list? Top 10, there's not even 10 items on this list. Ha, gotcha. Spoiled my own video. But anyway, how can I make a list of 2021 and not include Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? I wanted to put Pokemon on this list, and I was kind of upset that Arceus is coming out in, 23 days from now. I'm recording this on January 5th, 2022, so just so you're aware. But, you know, Arceus could have came out this year and it would have definitely probably trumped these games, but I loved these games. And I know that there's a lot of diehard fans out there that were very disappointed with the chibi art style, everything like that about these games, but I absolutely fell in love with these remakes. Little backstory on myself. Sinnoh, not exactly one of my favorite regions. 4th gen just kind of is a dud. There's a lot of really great mons that came out, but I just wasn't a big fan of the Sinnoh region itself, and especially how slow paced the games were back in those days in 2007. But you know, with the quality of life changes and on the Nintendo Switch, I found all those things that I used to complain about just kind of disappeared. I absolutely fell in love with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I put about 40 hours in. I didn't do any of the like end game stuff, which there really isn't much of. But I didn't really go and start getting all the legendaries and stuff like that at the Ramada Park and all those different things. I had my fun. I beat Cynthia. That's all I wanted to do, and I moved on. I absolutely loved it. Really, really looking forward to Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's probably my most hyped game of 2022 right now. That's gonna change throughout the year, obviously, as we continue along and we see other games coming out. But as of right now, I am so excited for that game. So if you told me we would have had an open world Mario title in 2021, I would have not believed you, and I would have probably thought you were lying. But we kind of actually got that, and it happened in a different way than you'd expect. Nintendo ported Super Mario 3D World, which originally came out in 2013 on the Wii U, but added an extra little open world-esque game, Bowser's Fury. And boy, what a fun, short little game that was. And it gave me so much hope that we could one day actually have an open world Mario title, something like Breath of the Wild. Who knew Mario dressing up like a cat and becoming a kaiju and going head to head against Kaiju Bowser would be this much fun? I loved it. It was too short. I wanted so much more. But at least Super 3D World Mario Bazanja God Party Guy is a fun game too. You can play with your friends. I played with a couple of my nephews and nieces. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Just pop the Joy-Cons on the side. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Mario Odyssey 2 is going to end up looking like with the feedback that Nintendo probably got from Bowser's Fury, with the love of the game. You know, people really enjoyed this little title. I know at first I was kind of like, why are they porting Mario 3D World? I mean, I don't really want it, don't really care. But then I saw the little plus sign and it said Bowser's Fury, and that's what sparked my interest. And boy, I loved Pacific Rim when I was younger. So when I saw Kaiju Mario Cat versus Kaiju Godzilla, I got hyped and ready to go, and it was a lot of fun. We're gonna wrap things up right around here. We got one more game that I want to talk about, and that is No More Heroes 3. So Suda51 gave us the quote-unquote final No More Heroes game and wrapped up the trilogy in a big way. Proving that Suda is just still as insane as always, this game has the charm of the first two, but even more of what you love from the first two. Even though it's very repetitive with its missions, the fighting system is easily one of the best hack and slash styles I've ever played. Controlling Travis and absolutely annihilating hordes of enemies was so much fun and always made me smile. Travis delivers classic one-liners and talks his usual smack the entire time. It's absolutely lovely. I could honestly keep going though, because this game is really, really fun. But again, my biggest issue with it was the fact that the missions were just so similar. You know, you kind of just do what you do in the other two games. You climb the rank of, in this one it's aliens. They used to be, you know, assassins, but now we're dealing with aliens. And it has a really cool storyline to it, but it's just the same thing over and over, which again, I know that's what No More Heroes is. It's fun, it's beautiful. It's choppy, unfortunately, the frame rate does drop, but when it's playing really well, it plays really well. It looks great, it's fun, it's awesome. It's typical Suda51 fashion. Gore, violence, crazy one-liners, big giant Gundam mech things, space explosions. It's great, I loved it so much. We're gonna wrap things up there. You know, there are a lot of other games that obviously came out in 2021, but I didn't want to make a gigantic list because there's just so much that we could have sat here and talked about. But I wanted to kind of talk about the games and things that were important to me, whether it was the OLED or Metroid Dread, for example. That's honestly in my top 5 favorite games of all time now. So if you liked what you saw and you want to check out more, make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys later.